And that's why people such as Blair of England and Mitterrand and Bush and all of these people are involved in these satanic secret societies that harken back to the mystery religion. So I want to make this statement. What we're opposed to here is an incredible system of politics, of black politics. I'm talking about dark now. Politics, black magic, witchcraft politics, and economics, talk about voodoo economics, but also it is a theocracy. Now, a lot of people worry about a theocracy. That's a government of horrible religionists that bring in a dictatorship. This is what this is. They are actually, with satanic architecture, they believe they are communicating with and receiving powers from devils, and they create a natural, magical environment. James Wasserman, who wrote a book, I quote him on page 121 of Mysterious Monuments, he wrote a book about the occult traditions in art and architecture. He says the basis of the mystery religions is the law of correspondence, as above, so below. It goes all the way back, Alex, to the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, back way into the Greek city-state era. But it basically means that they're building on earth in stone or glass, wood, steel, what have you, hell. They're building a hellish new utopia, and they often conceal the true meaning of this by veiling it in symbols, in satanic symbols, but not always, because you're going to find in this book such things as serpents and dragons and demons, and as I mentioned at the National Cathedral, even a gargoyle of Darth Vader there. And all of this is they're creating, remember, they say we're regenerating Earth. And so we're rebuilding Earth. And everywhere they're building this architectural colossus, even entire new cities in Brazil, in Kazakhstan, and so forth, with the aim of bringing Lucifer's kingdom on earth. And they believe they're literally communicating with higher minds, these spirits from beyond.
Yeah, they believe they're talking to, quote, angels or gods and goddesses.
Oh, yes, and they're worshiping them. Now, our Constitution says that Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. They have established these mystery religions, and they admit to it. You'll see quote by quote of illuminists and occultists in my book, Mysterious Monuments.
And you have that, but let me just make a point here, backing up what you're saying. When you go and you look at Washington, D.C., or every other major state capital, or governmental buildings, city buildings, whether it's Austin or San Francisco, it doesn't matter. It is all Babylonian/Egyptian. If you look at the government buildings in Ottawa or the government buildings in Manitoba, they admit they are occultic. They were built by occultists. The people that designed them are occultists. And so here they are saying, oh, get the Ten Commandments out of a Supreme Court building in Alabama. Get it out of the Supreme Court in D.C. Get these little trappings out. But then they can have their stuff everywhere because they believe it's giving them power. And so people, even if you don't believe in this, they believe in it, is the whole point. This is what drives the world. This, psychologists should look at this. This is what they believe governs the planet. Now, Texe, they also know that they're cross-species chimeras, cross-species, spider with goats, humans with pigs, chimpanzees with humans, growing at least for a decade, humanoids, they're part bovine, in utero in cows for organ harvesting. We saw that in medical documents 10, 12 years ago. Now it's mainstream news. Now it's in newspapers. I've had top scientists on who were making millions of dollars until they found out that the potatoes that we're eating are killing us, until they found out that all this cross-species stuff is deadly. They don't care about the environment. They claim they're taking our rights and carbon footprints and global taxes and regulation and control, is to save Gaia. But in reality, they want to overthrow what they believe is the old creation. And people can say, well, that's your Christian view. No. You can say you don't believe in God of the Bible. The point is the elite do, they hate it, and they say they're overthrowing it. So if you really love the earth, and you really love this creation, you need to understand that they are seeking to overthrow it and destroy it. So they know we love the planet. They know we have common sense and want to breathe clean air and drink good water. They say, oh, sign on to what we're doing to save the earth, when in reality they want to overthrow it and destroy it to rebuild it in their hellish image.
Alex, that is exactly right. They want to create a new reality, a new way of thinking, and a new earth built on these regenerative principles.
Play God.
Remember, they are not creators. So their God is not the great creator. He's the great architect. He is building a new world order. And this is the reason for all of this satanic architecture and the great work of the Illuminati, and they actually use that term, the great work. And it harkens back again to the mystery religion, so it is a theocracy. And sometimes it's disguised. For example, let me give you an example. You'll find various monuments around the United States and Canada of state buildings, including the Manitoba, in Winnipeg, Canada, and I saw this, but also AT&T building, the Rockefeller Center, and others have a very beautiful statue of a golden boy. Who is that golden boy, you might ask? Isn't that interesting? The AT&T building in New York City was built exactly 666 feet high. Okay, I document that in my book. And they have a great statue of a golden boy holding up lightning bolts. At the Rockefeller Center, they have a fountain with the golden boy inside a circle, like the circle of the earth, or a ring. Now, who is this golden boy? He's none other than the Greek god Apollo. He was called Horus by the Egyptians. Here we have Antichrist, the son of Osiris. This is amazing. The golden boy, and that's what he was called, the golden boy.
Now, Tex, since you brought up 666, remember, it was in the Associated Press. I have the article. 666 of these pink and gold pieces that fit exactly in at the Louvre to build the pyramid, and Mitterrand demanded, and it had to be, he told the architect, the 666 pieces. And then I've had the head professor on who wrote this big book, and he's not even religious, about how up in Canada their government building has a room where they do rituals. He admitted that it's designed for that. That's exactly 666, or the calculation for the sun god. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Rome had built a great Capitol building, the ancient Empire of Rome. They got the religious idea of this from the Etruscans. The Etruscans always had their Capitolin, building, their capital of their various regions, and they were built exactly like our U.S. Capitol. Now, at one time, each year, on their holy day, where they really worship the devils, they would go into the crypt of their Capitol building. Okay, this is in Rome, this is in Etrusca. And they had a cover at the bottom of the crypt, right in the very center of it. There would be usually a metal, maybe golden, maybe brass or bronze or copper, and they would lift that up. And there they had built a huge cave or tunnel to the bottom of the earth where they believed the spirits would come up. They would open up the cover and allow the spirits to come forth to bless their capital city. Now, I realizing this, I began to study the architecture of the U.S. Capitol. I found that in the crypt beneath the rotunda, where they actually had a place there. He was never laid, but they even had a crypt, a sarcophagus for George Washington built. But they have what they call the rose compass. It's a cover, and it leads down into the middle of the earth, supposedly. Now, so there in Washington, D.C., at the Capitol, down in the crypt, I am convinced these Illuminists actually have an occult ritual once each year when they lift the rose compass plate out of the center of the Capitol. And you mentioned the ley lines. They believe the Capitol is built on this power.
Well, let me stop you. They admittedly, with the wine and the corn and the oil, in an ancient Babylonian Masonic ritual, lay the cornerstones and have guys in priest outfits do it.
Oh yes, I have a picture, in fact, of the book where they were laying the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol. Now, in London, many of the people there are convinced, and I am as well, that many of the buildings there, the Masons actually had cornerstone laying ceremonies. And by the way, post offices, government buildings, courthouses throughout the United States, you'll find Masonic plaques, and they say, we laid the cornerstone for this building on certain date. But in the ancient mystery religions, they sacrificed human beings, and along with corn and oil and wine, they consecrated this great stone with human blood. And then they laid the stone. Now, here's an interesting thing for you, Alex. I want you to picture this. On the 200th anniversary, that was, in 1990 or 2 or something, the Freemasons of Washington, D.C. in the United States, from all 50 states, actually,